Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you along to night number 4 of the Saloon Speedweek, brought to you by Holden Trade Club, Burger King and Valvoline as well, and also the Pits TV. To all the viewers over in the United States from Speed Shift TV and anyone around the country, we would also like to welcome you. It's been a fantastic series so far. We've watched some really good racing. Dutchie just running away with it last night in Dunedin. Nigel Ross just the night before at Riverside, just getting it over a few car lengths, and the night before that, George Phillips definitely taking the honours. So the points have definitely mixed up now going into round number 4, and it's all go at Ellesmere Speedway here just out of Christchurch, our second biggest city here in New Zealand, and these guys are just out doing a bit of wheel packing at the moment. So once these guys finish, we'll go and we'll bring you some interviews from these guys. But this track, I tell you, first time a lot of these drivers have been here, and also a first for us here at the Pits TV as well. And what a track it is too. They've done a lot of work over the last 3 years. They've widened it, they put a new fence up, and this place is just looking $1 million. So we will be back with you very shortly here. So stay tuned to the Pits TV for night number 4 of the Saloon Speedweek, brought to you by Holden Trade Club.
Calm before the storm out there at the moment for the first heat of the Holden Trade Club Saloon Speedweek in the Chemwash and Mondial groups. Okay. About to go racing, away and racing. A great start from George Phillips on the inside. Raymond Phillips locks into second place, but into third already is Aaron Andrews in the Otago Metals Falcon. Then we go back to car number 5. That's Danny Knight. And behind him you've got Mark Hinton. Then we go back to Scouten, car number 12, and Steve Williams in the Valvoline car. Okay, 146 out there as well. That, of course, is our Auckland visitor. That is Paul Wright. Then we go back to Scott Lansdowne. Oh, there's a problem for Scouten. I think he may have got pretty close to the wall there, but we pick up your race leader through turns 1 and 2 again. It is George Phillips, the man that won the first round of the series. He's looked like he could bag some good points here. Aaron Andrews looking pretty racy there in third place in the Falcon. Of course, Aaron Andrews' father used to be the main man down there at Wayne Andrews used to be the main man down there at Beachland Speedway in Dunedin for a number of years. But he's under pressure now from Danny Whiting. Danny Whiting having a look up the inside. But also in there, Mark Hinton from Stratford Speedway. Williams has recovered after this first lap incident, or the incident before the start. Scott Lansdowne has been passed by Paul Wright. But out front, look at this, the two Phillips boys doing the business out front. The two Beachland Speedway cars from Dunedin, first and second. Back there in third, it's still Aaron Andrews from Danny Whiting. And looks like Phillips is going wide. George Phillips. Looks like George is favouring the high line, whereas Raymond liking the pole line at this stage. But both those cars are very effective setup in this first race for the Holden Trade Saloon Speedweek series. And just having a look at the points, I think we've got George Phillips in the top 4 in points at this stage, so he's going to bag some good points in this one. Raymond Phillips still there in second place. I'll get back to Aaron Andrews under pressure all the way from the Valvoline car of Danny Knight, car number 5. Hinton's there in 5th place. Then back to Williams and Scouten. Followed through by Paul Wright and also David Ingram. Oh, look at the speed of these cars. We'll have to get some lap times on these cars. Oh, there we go. Scouten and Williams going side by side down the back straight. Now Scouten, our race leader, will be wanting to pick up the pace a wee bit because he'll be losing points here as he has another go at Williams in the Valvoline car, the Valvoline Mustang. Can't make it stick though. As your race leader, George Phillips, impressive performance from the young lad out there out of Dunedin. Certainly doing the business. He's got Raymond Phillips as rear gunner. The white flag is out, so we're on our last lap. The checkered flag about to come out for George Phillips. Second place will go to Raymond Phillips, car number 17D. Then back to car 57D. And so it's a Dunedin trifecta. That, of course, is Aaron Andrews. Then back to the first of the Christchurch cars. Car number 5, the Valvoline car of Danny Knight. Mark Hinton will be back there in 5th, ahead of Williams in 6th. Then we go back to series leader Peter Shoughton. He's followed through by car 146A from Auckland, Paul Wright. Further back, we're just having a look at David Ingram behind Paul Wright, car 116, and Scotty Lansdowne. Now, these three Aucklanders in a tussle in points and pretty close together on the track. 28T was next. And that, of course, is Barry Taylor from Cromwell. He's followed by Billy Woodhouse. Then 18K, Chris Taylor from Kiki. Now, keep your eyes out for Chris later on because he loves the slick tracks. Also, there was car number 59, Matt Green. And I believe that was the last of your finishes in the first of the Holden Trade Speedweek Saloons. So that, of course, was the Chemwash and Mondial groups.
We've already had our first heat race, and we do have our heat race winner here, the 47D car of George Phillips. A bit of a disappointing end to last night's feature at Beachlands, but a bit of a redemption round here with a heat win at Ellesmere.
Yeah, did a bit of a disappointing night last night, but you can't win them all, so main goal is to get some solid finishes here tonight and hopefully a bit of a success in the feature and make up for mistakes we made last night.
You were saying you didn't have to go out and win that first heat, and why was that?
Well, the idea is to start off the front for the dash for cash, but if you get high placings in the heats, then you'll be at the back, and it's a lot more hard work.
Okay, any changes you're going to make to the car for the next heat? What's the track going to do?
I think the track will get a bit slicker. The car felt pretty good then, might just make it a wee bit tighter, but other than that, it's pretty good.
Okay, quickly, sponsors, we've got a race out there, George.
Clean Waste 2003 Limited, IMO, iBattery and John Sivrite from Powder Line.
Okay, best of luck. Okay, so yep, that's right, Jace. We are here with the series leader after last night. It is the 12C car of Peter Skelton, the winner also of last night's feature. And Pete, a bit of a mixed bag in there, never raced before and just didn't quite have the setup.
No, I actually think the setup wasn't too far wrong, but just not having that track knowledge, probably went a wee bit too high, and I got sucked into the wall where the track just tapered off a little bit.
So you started finishing and finished 7th, but a bit of contact to the wall. Any damage to the car?
Nah, it's built well. It'll handle it.
So making any changes for the next heat, Pete?
Yeah, we're just tightening up a little bit.
Well, best of luck for the rest of the day. I know you want some solid finishes, and the further back you finish, the better off you are in the dash for cash, though.
Yeah, probably. Make a few points there, yeah.
All right, Pete, any sponsors you want to thank?
Yeah, Holden Trade Club, Burger King and Valvoline.
Okay, we are here with the 45S car of Mark Hinton all the way from Stratford. How'd you get on in your last heat? You've already had your first heat, and where'd you start and finish?
Started 5th and just sat there and finished 5th as well, so I'm happy with that.
So are you another driver out of this quality field that hasn't raced here as well?
Yeah, that's just right. Yeah, one of the few tracks I haven't raced on.
Okay, what do you reckon the track's going to do, Mark? You going to make any changes to your car for the next heat?
Yeah, I've put a bigger left rear tyre on, so take a bit of stagger off and just tighten it up a little bit, and it should be good.
Is that to just get a bit more side bite, bit more drive coming off the corners? Is it a lot slicker than you thought it was?
It's just going to go really slick, I think, or really dusty, and that bigger left rear just gets you off the corner a bit faster.
Okay, so any sponsors you want to take care of? I mean, you've travelled all the way down here from the North Island. We appreciate your support of the Speedweek and everything else. Is there anyone you want to take care of?
Yes, I'd like to thank Hinton Contracting and Field Talk Taranaki, also Little Steps Daycare, Stratford.
The man from Invercargill, 53i, Jeff Richardson in there. 18k. Chris Taylor was pretty good last night. He actually started off further down the grid, but managed to make his way up onto a podium, third spot. From the feature last night.
And you say he likes the slick track too, so he'll definitely be one to watch further on. You've got some very quick North Islanders in the middle of the field, the likes of Scott Lansdowne and Nigel Ross.
Amazing. He's been amazing too, eh? Been outstanding, actually.
He was very quick at the New Zealand Saloon Car title, I think a couple of seasons ago at Woodford Glen Speedway.
Aaron Andrews blew an engine after the first night, so he's got a whole new car, actually. Right, so they're up and underway. Green flag waves, and up into turn 1 and 2 we go. 53, Jeff Richardson gets them dialed in beautifully, actually going up between 1 and 2, comes out of 2, leads the race. Billy Woodhouse back in second spot. Then the 15 of Phil Burgess again about to be plummeted in the bum by the 46 car of Nigel Ross from Auckland now as they go across the start-finish line and complete lap number 1. And 53, Jeff Richardson's the one that's handling the gentle at the moment. Look at that bit of 3-wide action coming out of turn 2 there with Nigel Ross, and looks like Phil Burgess, 18, has obviously come to the infield, so we must have jinxed him, Lawrence, with now he's gone straight to the infield.
Yeah, it was certainly a bit disappointing. He's further back in the field than what I would have imagined as far as the points go. But Richardson, 53i, your race leader from Invercargill. I'll tell you who's looking pretty good in this one is Phil Burgess, up to third place. Now, he's done quite a few laps around the Ellesmere layout before. So a bit more experience. I think the experienced drivers, the ones that have been here before.
Somebody's gone around there. 28T Barry Taylor's just gone round right on turn number 4 there. Everybody did a bit of evasive action to avoid him. 791 Rob Flood was pretty close to giving him a bit of a collection there. But Phil Burgess just saying that too, Lawrence. He's had an absolute terrible speed week. He went to Riverside Speedway, 3 gearboxes he's done so far. 1 diff. 2 axles. He's just had one of those shocking runs, so he'll be looking to try and capitalise and maybe finish Speed Week with a bit of a bang, so to speak, without the wrong bang going on.
I also imagine some of the North Islanders would have had trouble coming to grips with the likes of Central Motor Speedway and Cromwell with the layout.
Here's the replay here, and let's have a wee look here, and we're looking at Barry Taylor. Barry's right down on the inside there, so those people that don't quite have the privilege of watching the replay up here. Big thanks to Valvoline for those guys for providing us with the replay. We're just waiting for it to come up. Look, he's right on the inside there too with 46 Nigel Ross. So obviously a little bit of that hurry-scurry stuff that's happening there. So no real showing what happened with the incident though.
Now, there's a lot more points involved with the feature, I believe, in the heat races.
That's right, and that encourages people to do more in the feature. The Dash for Cash is brilliant too. We'll explain that a little bit later on. So there's lots of racing to come from these guys. So basically, it's just the 3 heats that they have. So A versus B, C versus whatever it is, and they go through the groups, and then they have a dash for cash, and then of course the feature races. We get the green, it waves again, and looks like Jeff Richardson still got that start sorted out. 15 Phil Burgess goes upstairs, up between turn 1 and 2 now, lines it up down the back straight, puts the foot down. Let's see if we get round Billy Woodhouse. He's got the momentum. He's looking to challenge 53 Jeff Richardson now. 74 Scott Lansdowne's up into that 4th spot. 46 Nigel Ross. He's starting to have a wee bit of a poke around for those front pack as well. And these guys, that's where the action is happening. Those first 4 or 5 cars. 89 Tom Roberts, rookie to the series. He's doing a good job. He's having a wee sniff down the inside of the 46 car of Nigel Ross. But 53, Jeff Richardson, Lawrence, he's the one that's in control at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing a great job out front. Probably one driver they can't underestimate. Of course, he's great mates with Phil Burgess. But look at Lansdowne out on the inside there, going on the pole line. Now he's trying to shift Richardson further up the track to try and come up the inside. And it looks like he's done it, Jason.
Absolutely. So that's, of course, a K-Mac chassis. Kerry McIntyre builds that one. It's a reasonably new sort of a car. And he starts to check out as he heads down the back straight. Puts 53. Jeff Richardson back in second spot. 46 Nigel Ross has got down the inside of the 15 car from Cromwell. That's Phil Burgess. Burgess having a wee sniff back down the inside. Wee bit of touchy-feely between those two as they head into turn 1 now as they make their way down the back straight. Further down the field we see Roberts, then Willie Woodhouse, Billy Woodhouse, then we've got Rob Flood, Steve Williams, Aaron Andrews, back to Raymond Phillips, who's not making too much of an impact on this one, and 28 Barry Taylor rounds out the last car on the track there. But the battle on. 46 Nigel Ross having a wee look down the inside of 15 Jeff Richardson. Looks like he's got him. 53, sorry.
Well, Ross, I think, might be the man to watch in the Lovelady test. in the Lovelady chassis in second place. Richardson's still there in third place ahead of Burgess. Then we move back to Roberts, car number 89A from Waikaraka Park in Auckland. Then further back to Willie Woodhouse. Now he's doing quite well, Willie Woodhouse. I think he's done a bit better than Scout in his heat. And of course those are 1 and 2 in the points.
Absolutely. Right, let's have we look up the front again. 74, the white flags come out, 1 to go for Scott Lansdowne. Now makes his way down the back straight. 46, Nigel Ross holds that second spot. And looks like we're going to get a check at this time round. Up between turn 1 and 3 and 4 they go. And it will be 74, Scotty Lansdowne. He'll take out first blood in that second race. 46, Nigel Ross in second. 53, Jeff Richardson in third. 15, Phil Burgess there as well. 89, Tom Roberts. 71, Willie Woodhouse. Then the 791 car of Rob Flood. And that pretty much rounds out the first few cars there.
Now, I believe Lansdowne's been racing in this Holden Speedweek series for around about 10 years.
Yeah, but he's had a couple of years off. So he's him and his wife had a fantastic couple of kiddies, well, a kiddie. And so he's had a bit of time off and been working hard at Pit Stop New Lynn there. And now he's back on and dialed in and ready to take it to them. Righto, so we'll sign off on that. We'll hand you back to Lawrence and we'll be back shortly, eh?
Okay, very good. Sorry, we had a few technical issues there that time around, but we'll see how we go with the next race on the program. Well, what a performance from Scotty Lansdowne from Auckland. Also another Auckland car in second place, Nigel Ross. But certainly two from the deep south there. Jeff Richardson doing a great job, and of course Jeff Burgess as well. Or Phil Burgess, sorry, Phil Burgess. Phil Burgess there in the Corvette. Of course, the Corvette seemed to be the dominant chassis, if you like, or the dominant cars in the saloons and even the super saloons. Plenty of Corvettes. I know Willie Woodhouse has got a Corvette there, 71. You usually tell the Corvettes because they've got the round, 2 round tail lights at the back of their cars. Of course, you got the Mustang there of Steve Williams, the Falcon there of car 57, Aaron Andrews. And what an unfortunate situation there for car number 18K. I'm not too sure what happened to Chris Taylor from Kiki. So the Kiki club seems to have had a bit of a resurgence in the last couple of seasons.
Okay, so we're here with the 74A car all the way from Auckland and Waikaraka Park. It is the 74A car of Scotty Lansdowne. Mate, that was an awesome drive coming from about mid-pack to lead that race, and you've got some seasoned campaigners here at Ellesmere that you had to go around.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good actually. We sort of got in the groove after a few laps and just all seemed to fall in place. It felt great out there.
So you obviously have the setup. You're going to make much changes to the car for the next heat?
Oh, look, it's likely to slick up a little bit more, I would imagine. We'll just try and keep an eye on the track and dial it in as we can, you know.
So first heat race this year, but you're still looking for your first ever feature race in a speed week, and you've been doing it for quite a while, aren't you? Do you reckon you got the tricks up your sleeve tonight, Scott?
Oh, I'd certainly like to hope so. It felt good out there. There's some seriously fast cars out there at the moment, so you never know. If everything falls into place, it might happen.
So first time you've raced here as well, being from the North Island, you Phil Burgesses and your Jeff Richardsons, they've all raced here before, so you're definitely going to have your work cut out for you tonight, Scott. Any sponsors, the Speed Week sponsors that you want to take care of while we've got you here? Oh, look, obviously we have to thank Holden Trade Club, Burger King, Chemosh, Mondial, Valvoline, CRC, and my own personal sponsors, Stealth Race Engines, Diesel Marine NZ, and Pit Stop New Lynn in Auckland. Well, Scott, being a personal favourite of mine in the saloon class, I really do wish you the best of luck for the rest of the meeting, and hope to see you out there out the front for the Dash for Cash, and also the first ever feature race win for a speed week for you. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Looking forward to it.
Yep, that's it. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. Right, let's go racing. Green has dropped. And it looks like 791 Rob Flood's got a nice wee start on this one. Comes off turn number 2. Gets chased hard by 71. Oh, look at that. 59 Matt Green into the wall. That'll bring out a yellow. Oh, they're going around all over the place. And here's Dave. Oh, there's a big smash over on turn 3 and 4 as well. And that involves 116 5C. I think Danny Knight was all right. 12 Peter Scouten. And also, I can't see the other car on the other side there. But 146, that's at Paul Wright. So all the cars we talked about, Lawrence, it's your fault. Commentator's curse, mate.
Well, Danny Knight will be gutted about that one. Peter Scouten, I think he's the one that's going to be affected the most. He is the current points leader. And he was starting behind Woodhouse in that one also. So
we've got a replay of this. Oh, I can't see it anyway. But Tanya from who's a part of the series is telling us, Lawrence, that there's only 1 point between Peter Scouten and Willie Woodhouse coming into this race. So that's how close it is. So hopefully no major damage. Matt Green actually started a bit of an effect there. I think it put a few of the guys off. Of course, everybody tried to avoid him. A couple of cars got sideways. You could see pretty much those people who are watching the live stream will be watching the replay at the moment. Now, apologies every once in a while, we cut out from the audio there. We've got a couple of issues with some power here, but we've got it sorted now, we believe. So I've just been hearing from the director there, and they're saying that Peter Scouten got a massive hit, so it'll be interesting to see that. Here's a phone, I'll look it up on Facebook.
Well, Matt Green has recently moved from a Mustang to a Corvette.
Yes, he has, yeah. Yep. And that's a newer car too, so he actually had Phil Burgess as an old Mustang, and he's bought this machine, so... Yeah, we've got our own little replay up here now. We've got the hopefully they'll replay it for us downstairs.
Well, those points have definitely closed up, and with Scouten involved in this one, hopefully he gets a restart.
Making their way down the back straight, 45 Mark Hinton. Wee bit of achieving last night in Dunedin as well, the 45S machine. He's been pretty quiet today, but watch him. He's one of those guys that can pull a rabbit out of a hat. Raced 3 times in the last year. And this is his first real meeting, or the Speedweek's been his first real meeting. Righto, so the green flag gets dropped, bit of dust there, but 791 Rob Flood's in control at the moment. 71 Willie Woodhouse, he's sniffing around the back end of that machine as they make their way up into turn 3 and 4. He's having a wee look now, looks like he might try and squeeze it as he comes out of turn 4, comes past us in the commentary position here, and 71 Willie Woodhouse still sits back in that second spot. And behind him, the 89 of Tom Roberts would be next, then 46 Nigel Ross is back and forth, then one spot back, 15 Phil Burgess, 45 Mark Hinton, 47 George Phillips has already passed 2 cars, with 53 Jeff Richardson, and the 5 machine back in that tail end of the field now. Up the front, and we'll hand it over to Lawrence for a couple of laps.
Okay, it's Rob Flood, the man from Eastern State Speedway, is your race leader. There we go, Nigel Ross has a look up the inside of Tom Roberts. Can't make it stick though as they come down the front straight once again. Willie Woodhouse putting the heat on Rob Flood. He's already taken the series lead, I believe, at the moment. So all he has to do there is sit there and do the business, if you like, in the Dash for Cash and get a good position for the feature race later this afternoon. But Rob Flood, a former 1NZ out front back in 2013, he won the national title at Eastern State Speedway. Still under pressure from Willie Woodhouse. Back there in third place, it's car 89, Roberts. Then we have a look at car number 46, another Aucklander. That, of course, is Nigel Ross. He's followed through by Phil Burgess, car number 15T. Then we go back to Hinton, car 45S, and there we go. Phillips is making his way up through the field.
Okay, so they go across the start and finish line. Another lap winds down, 791. Rob Flood leads it. 71 Willie Woodhouse has got within about a small width as he makes his way down the back straight. In behind him, Tom Roberts in that third spot. 46 Nigel Ross is getting a bit of a challenge from the 15 machine of Phil Burgess, who's looking up nice and high, and he's getting pretty close to the wall. Phil Burgess looks like he might get the pass here. Gets it a little bit too wide going up between 1 and 2. Gets the momentum though, comes off there. He's found something upstairs as he makes his way down the back straight now. 791 though, Rob Flood, he's the man. In behind him still, there's a bit of a traffic jam going on there, and it's led at the moment by 71 Willie Woodhouse, but Tom Roberts has got that thing dialed in, and he looks like he's found some bit of traction down on the inside now as he makes his way down the back straight, takes over second spot from Willie Woodhouse. Back behind him, 46 Nigel Ross is starting to really get into the pace as well, but there's not going to go without a fight from the 15 car of Phil Burgess. Burgess is on the high line, Nigel Ross on the low line. So we're making our way down the back straight now. 791 Rob Flood, he's still in command of this race at the moment, but he's being pushed hard by 89 Tom Roberts. Here comes, looks like Phil Burgess having a crack around the outside of 71 Willie Woodhouse. Looks like he might have him, so Phil Burgess is definitely the one that's making up the paces here. He's found something up high, and here comes Willie Woodhouse having a wee crack in the inside there, but he won't make it stick now as they make their way into 3 and 4. Flood leads Roberts, then Burgess. Burgess is starting to work on that second place car now. He looks like he's up nice and high and up between turn 1 and 2, and he's really doing a great job here as the white flag is out. Go into the white zone. 1 to go. 791 Rob Flood, can he hang on? Phil Burgess is pushing to 89 Tom Roberts as hard as he can. Should be a drag race to the finish line for those two, but Rob Flood will take it from Tom Roberts, then 15 Phil Burgess, 71 Willie Woodhouse, 46 Nigel Ross would be next, then 45 Mark Hinton, 47 George Phillips, 53 Jeff Richardson, and right at the tail end of the field, obviously looks like the left front on that machine's gone down a wee bit. It was the 5 of Danny Knight. Lawrence, what a race.
Oh, excellent race there. The Pro X chassis there of Tom Roberts. Second place, he's certainly come to grips with Ellesmere Speedway pretty quick.
Amazing, isn't it? And the one that would really surprise me was Phil Burgess, though.
Yeah, Phil Burgess, he always goes well on his day.
Yeah, he does actually. And of course, I think he's 2NZ CTRA, isn't he? Happened at Ashburton there last season, I'm led to believe.
Yeah, he's running a Kevin Moore chassis.
It's an old one, but it's a good
one. Yeah, he's doing a great job out there. So setup's I think going to come key in that feature race later this afternoon.
I'd imagine that Phil's done a few laps around here too, has he?
Yes, he has. He's one of the few that have been around here quite a few times.
Okay, so we're here with heat race winner, the 791 car of Rob Flood. Flood, it's been a bit of a long time coming this speed week, hasn't it, to be up the front. You've been there or thereabouts, but what's been happening over the speed week for you?
We have had a ball, Stiffy, mate. In Cromwell, we qualified high, starting off the front for the feature, and then I looped it about 2 laps in, so we had to come off the back, which we did it really hard. And then last night in Dunedin, we run out of power steering, so we had no power steering for the whole feature. Bit hard on the arms, mate, but we got there, so it's a bit of a panic stations today to get everything sorted, but we're on top of it now.
So it's been a very, very long week here for Speed Week. It always is. So how are you feeling coming into the final round here at Ellesmere, especially with this heat? Your head must be all over the place. You just said you couldn't see, and how's your body and everything else feeling?
I actually feel all right, eh? You know, we've had good night's sleep and whatnot and eating well, so we're doing good. First time I've been to this track, and I absolutely love it, eh? It's a ball.
So have you got the answer for the feature, Floody? Is it your time on night number 4?
Let's hope so, but hey, it's 1.5 lanes out there at the moment, and just got to try and set the cars to make the passes.
So you're going to make a couple of changes to the car for the rest of the night?
Yeah, we will. I'm sort of struggling a little bit of side bite out there, and that's really about it, I think. So just drop the J-bar.
Well, you do have an LRC car, Love Lady race car, and they are renowned for slick tracks. And a slick track you did once win a New Zealand title. So any sponsors you want to thank, Speed Week sponsors, Floody?
Absolutely, mate. Holden Trade Club, Valvoline and BK. They support this series, and thank you guys very, very much. And my own sponsors, Radiator Services, Love Lady Race Cars, Marlboro Panel and Paint, One Stop Brake and Auto, Penrod Oils and Repco.
All right, thanks very much, Rob, and best of luck for the rest of the afternoon here at this very, very hot Ellesmere Speedway.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Okay, we've got the 15T driver of Phil Burgess down here with us now, and mate, it's been a very, very hard speed week for you, but you've proven the ground here that you are the CTRA 2NZ. Do you feel like coming in here you've had a bit of an advantage over these faster boys?
Oh yes, Stiffy. We've had one run here before, and Willie Woodhouse, my teammate, and we had a real good few battles here, and we got to find some things on the track that I guess nobody else has found. And there's actually a good high line up there, and we found it in that race and got around Nige, and then got around Willie, and there was a fair bit of bite up there, so it was good.
And then you were challenging for second as well. And I tell you what, you must be knackered, Phil. You've had a very, very hard speed week. How are you feeling in the head, the body and everything else? And just the way that this tonight's forming for you?
Oh yeah, we are pretty knackered. Like, we've obviously done 3 gearboxes, a diff and a drive shaft, and I really can't thank Simon Bland enough this morning for making us another drive shaft. And literally we are tired, but hey look, this series is just so amazing. You just keep trucking along.
Well, Phil, you seem to have the setup for the track, and do you reckon that you've got an answer for these big guys? I mean, it's always renowned that on slick tracks, horsepower doesn't really mean a thing, and have you got the answer, Phil?
Well, if nobody else wants to search upstairs, I'm certainly going to go up there and see if I can find a track or make a track and try and pass some cars.
Okay, Phil, thanks very much for your time, mate. It's been excellent to see you up the front and doing battle with these big guys. Sponsors you want to take care of?
Hey, I'd like to thank THR Fabrication, Concrete Grind and Shine, Advanti Racing New Zealand and Campbell and Gaster Motors. And of course, Stiffy, all the series sponsors, Holden Trade Club, Valvoline, Mondial, Chem Wash, Burger King. There's so many of us, and everybody on the crews, all the drivers, especially my crew, they've done an awesome job.
Well, I bet you from the bottom of everyone here on Speedweek and also us at the Pits TV, we wish you the best of luck going into the final couple of races here. It's been an absolute gutting Speedweek for you, but it'll be good to see you end it on a high.
Yeah, of course we do, mate. We always want to end on a high, and like you say, we've had a bad run, but hopefully I'll give something back to the crew because they've done such a great job, and we'll finish on a high.
Well, thanks very much, Phil.
Thanks, Stiffy.
Okay, we're out now with the first of our shootouts. Of course, this will determine grid positions for the big feature race. And of course, there will be 2 of these shootouts. Now, car 57 out there, Aaron Andrews. Now, he started out in production saloons. He's finished 4th in the New Zealand Saloon Car Grand Prix previously and 3rd in the Southern Saloon Series. He's raced at a number of tracks in South Island, but also Miani and Timarua Speedway in Wellington, Palmy North. Also, so fair bit of experience for car number 57D, Aaron Andrews from Beachland Speedway in Dunedin. But we'll pick them up as they come around their grids.
So we should see the green flag go up this time round. Dash for cash, 4 laps to decide who's going to start off P1 in the feature race. Looks like Raymond Phillips has got a nice tidy start here, and he puts a wee bit of a gap back to the 5 of Danny Knight. Back in 3rd spot, the 71 of Willie Woodhouse, about to be challenged by 47 George Phillips. Phillips is doing a great job here. He started up the back, and he's already gained 2 spots. He's looking to gain another one here, try and catch up to cousin Raymond. He's just cooked it going off turn 4 and dropped back a couple of spots, but he's back on the pace again, hugging that pole line like you wouldn't believe now. They make their way up into turn 3 and 4. And 17, Raymond Phillips is the man in control. He's opened up about 8 or 9 car lengths back to our second place car 71, Willie Woodhouse. Has gone around the outside of the 5 of Danny Knight now. Back in behind him, 46, Nigel Ross getting a bit too high, coming off turn 2 now, makes his way down the back straight. 47, George Phillips is trying to catch up, but he can't find that drive that he's looking for up nice and high. Look at though, 46, Nigel Ross around the outside of 5. There goes George Phillips around the outside of 5 as well now as they make their way down the back straight. And still, it is, of course, the car of 17, Raymond Phillips, that's doing the damage at the moment. Back in behind him, big gap back to the next place car, which will be, of course, Willie Woodhouse now. Goes across the start-finish line to complete another lap. Can't be too many more left in the book now. 46, Nigel Ross back there in that 3rd spot. Here comes George Phillips to give a bit of a challenge now as he makes his way into that 3 and 4. Up very, very high. And it looks like Nigel Ross is going to try and make his car as wide as he possibly can. Goes up nice and high. Looks like George is going to slip down to the inside. Look at that. Throws it. Gives a good flick. Nigel Ross will have the momentum up high though as they make their way down the back straight. And still though, Raymond Phillips has driven away with this. Willie Woodhouse is going to have to settle for second. And a bit spread out these lot. There's been some pretty close to these dash for cashes, but these guys there got them all spread out. The only one that could possibly pose a bit of a challenge is going to be the 47 of George Phillips. The white flag is out though as they make their way up into turn number 3 and 4. 1 to go for the 17 of Raymond Phillips. Tidally, the Cleanways iHire sponsor machine now goes up between 1 and 2, heads down the back straight, puts the foot down. About 15-20 back, 71 Willie Woodhouse. And then we've got a big gap back to 46 of Nigel Ross. Looks like George Phillips is going to try and have a crack in the last wee bit, but it is 17 Raymond Phillips that'll take the win, so he'll start off P1 for our feature race. Then back behind him, 71 Willie Woodhouse. Behind him, 46 of course is Nigel Ross, 47 George Phillips, 5 Danny Knight, and the tail end of the field would of course been the 53 of Jeff Richardson. That's that, Lawrence. Just like that.
And Jason is say Willie Woodhouse when we start off Group 3.
He will indeed. So that's how that works. So that sets up 1, 3, 5, 7, and then what we're going to see now is 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's the way that sets up. So it sets up the top 8 grids for the feature race coming up a little bit later on. Right, so let's have a wee crack here. Green flag is dropped. Let's go racing here at Ellesmere Speedway. 45. Mark Hinton's got the start. 57 Aaron Andrews about to be challenged on the outside by 791 Rob Flood as they make their way down the back straight. 74 Scotty Lansdowne got a bit of speed on as well. This could get messy for Rob Flood if he's not careful. 3 wide coming off turn number 4 now. And who's going to come out of it on top? 791 Rob Flood. So 57 Aaron Andrews tried to do the best he could for the time that he had. 74 Scotty Lansdowne now gets the K-Mac down on the inside. He takes over that 3rd spot now. Not too much happening from Tom Roberts and Phil Burgess at the moment, but I'm assuming Phil would just be quite happy to let these guys scrap it out. And looks like though the 791 car of Rob Flood and the Love Lady's just gone around the outside of 45 Mark Hinton in the Pro X, and now he puts himself up into that 2nd spot now. Back behind them, we'll see the 74 of Scott Lansdowne, 1 spot back. 57, of course, is Aaron Andrews. Tom Roberts is really hugging that pole line as they come across the start-finish line with a few more laps left to go yet. It's once again another race that's got a bit of a spread out going on here. And 791, though, he's got it dialed in beautifully. He's opened up about 8 or 9 car lengths back to the 45 of Mark Hinton from Stratford. And behind him, 74 car of Scott Lansdowne would be next. Then Aaron Andrews there back in that next spot, back and forth. And then we've got Tom Roberts and Phil Burgess bringing up the tail end of the field now. So there's not much action in this one. These dashes are supposed to be close, but looks like Rob Flood's got it well dialed in as he up the top part of the track there. And he will come off turn number 4 with a very big lead of about 15-20 car lengths back to our 2nd place machine of 45 Mark Hinton. Hinton contracting looking after him now. 74, Scott Lansdowne. He's got pit stop Newland looking after him. He's starting to get up behind the 45 car of Mark Hinton now as they make their way up into 3 and 4. Tom Roberts down the inside of 57 Aaron Andrews. Can he make it stick? Bit slick in that middle part of the track. That's where everybody seems to be racing. Looks like Rob Flood's gone up nice and high on that track. He's almost brushing the concrete wall as he makes his way down the back straight now. White flag will come out this time round as Rob Flood comes off turn number 4. 1 to go. White zone's where we're at. 45, Mark Hinton back in that 2nd spot. 1 back for 74 of Scott Lansdowne. Can Lansdowne make another spot up here? As he goes around turn number 1 and 2, he's only got 2 turns to do it in and a wee bit of a straight. Hinton, can he hang on? It's where the action is at the moment, but no denying who's going to take out P2. It will be 791 Rob Flood from Blenheim, then 45 Mark Hinton, then back behind him 74 of Scott Lansdowne, 57 Aaron Andrews, 89 Tom Roberts, and 15 Phil Burgess in the Avanti sponsor machine. He'll get that other spot. There we go, Lawrence. That's the dash for cash, all done and dusted. So the way they finish is the way they'll line up on the grid there.
And you have to ask the question, did Phil Burgess give the game away in that interview when he said he's going to go for the high line? And
of course it is the 2019 class of the Holden Trade Club Saloon Speedweek. Even the lap scoring ladies here have gotten off their feet. Tell you what, the most underrated people in Speedway, these people. Obviously they do a fantastic job. We even knocked their air conditioning out, so they're doing a great job under such extreme circumstances as well. Give them a clap, folks. Flash your lights at them. Do what you need to do. Just show their appreciation for them coming down to you, and they will show you their appreciation by, lining up in the forward wide salute. A little bit wonky at the moment, though, Lawrence, isn't it? This will be a fantastic race. The ladies in the lap scoring were saying to show us your appreciation by giving us a great race. That's the one, eh?
Well, I don't think we've seen saloon car racing in South Island like this since the New Zealand saloon car title would be.
Yeah, that was a couple of seasons ago too, with some great fields of cars, but that was heavily affected by weather, and good to see Christchurch has looked after us, Ellesmere's looked after us today and put on a fantastic day. Give them a big round of applause coming up. Those guys that are sitting over there close to the pits there, make sure you show your appreciation and give them a big, strong dose of the clap.
What's happening with Rob Flood?
That come out all wrong, but you know what I mean.
Rob Flood seems to be sitting there on the infield. Has he got an issue?
I don't know. There may be problems with the car. It might be overheating if it was going around too slow, so he might be just making sure that things are nice and cool for the race itself. Could be another, this is all tactics and things that they do.
And of course, he could be well and truly one to watch in this one with his experience. Of course, he has taken out a New Zealand title before.
There's best pairs and all that sort of stuff all to be considered in this as well. Green flag is up. Let's do it. Let's do 20 laps. Racing we go. Who's got it? Rob Flood up high. Raymond Phillips down low. Raymond gets it nice and tight. Looks like, though, that Rob Flood's got the momentum as he makes his way down the back straight. Now I'll take that back. Raymond Phillips had the momentum and he pulled a wee bit of a move on it, but he's gone too hot into turn 3 and 4, and that's allowed Rob Flood the inside run, almost 4 wide coming off turn 4 on a very dusty, slick-looking track. And it looks like it is, of course, the car of...
Willie Woodhouse moves into second place in the Verdona chassis. And starting to put the heat on our race leader in the Lovelady chassis of Rob Flood from Eastern State Speedway. Back in third is car number 5, Danny Knight. Then we move back to Raymond Phillips.
He's dropped back for a couple of 3 spots there. But look at George Phillips up nice and high. He's going right round the outside of Mark Hinton, having a wee crack at his cousin, 17, of Raymond Phillips now as he makes his way up into turn number 1 and 2 now. He's up real high. He's found something upstairs. He's going to have a crack at Mark Hinton going down the back straight now. Hinton's got just as much grunt as he has though coming off that turn. Look at George Phillips though, up nice and high. Let's go back up the front though. Rob Flood's got it controlled at the moment. 71 Willie Woodhouse. Those two have opened up about 3 or 4 back to the 5 of Danny Knight. 17 Raymond Phillips is right up his diff now as he tries to pull out, go around the outside of the car as they go into turn 3 and 4. George Phillips still up on that high line. Back behind Tim. Oh, a bit of a squeeze there. 17 Raymond Phillips squeezed them out as they went to make their way up into turn 1 and 2.
Oh, big move there from George Phillips, trying to go around the outside of Raymond Phillips. Couldn't quite do it.
Oh,
we've got 57. Aaron Andrews around in the Falcon.
He's away again,
so no orange light. But look at this performance from Rob Flood. Now, he's showing his experience. Remember, this is the sort of drive that took him to the New Zealand title out at Eastern State Speedway, but he's got one of the most experienced drivers around the Ellesmere track, certainly in the saloon car class. That's Willie Woodhouse, right on his tail. Back in third, it's Danny Knight, car number 5. Then the Stratford man, that is Mark Hinton. Oh, he just about got passed by Raymond Phillips on the inside, but there we go, George Phillips on the outside. And it's too wide as they come out of turns 3 and 4. But at the moment, it's still Flood from Woodhouse. Then back to Danny Knight. Hinton sits there in 4th place. Then the 2 Phillips boys, the cousins.
Those 74. Of course, that's Scott Lansdowne that's now caught up behind the 17 car, Raymond Phillips. George has dropped right back, and I think everybody's having a crack at down the inside with him now. It's just been passed by the 46 car of Nigel Ross. But up the front, 791, Rob Flood leads the charge. He's got about 3 back, 71 car of Willie Woodhouse, and a big gap of about 10 or 15 back to 5 of Danny Knight. Another one back, 45, Mark Hinton would be a next place machine. He's got 17 Raymond Phillips right up his diff, 74 Scotty Lansdowne, and Steve Williams having a bit of fun there as well as they make their way up into turn 1 and 2. Still George is hanging on to that high line. He's got Tom Roberts now having a look on the inside. He might have gained a couple of spots here because Nigel Ross was ahead of him in the last lap, so he's picked up a couple of cars. He's just trying to find maybe his car Lawrence is set up to come later on in the race.
Yes, he's certainly got the momentum on the outside, and it seems he loses. But look at the slingshot he got out of turn 2 down the back straight. And if these cars bunch up in front of them, he's going to go around the outside of them, Jace.
Yeah, well, everybody seems to be hugging that pole line, and that's where everybody seems to think that's where the drive is. But there's a couple of people that are daring to live. Look at that. That's pretty good skill when you go up that close to the wall without actually hitting it, but you're just waiting for that big bang, aren't you?
Yeah, we'll see the likes of Mark Osborne drive like that too. But it is Rob Flood, your race leader, ahead of Willie Woodhouse and Danny Knight, doing a superb job there in the K-Mat in third place. And then back to Raymond Phillips, Hinton, Scotty Lansdowne, and coming through now the Valvoline Mustang there of Steve Williams.
Now, I must make an apology to 46 of Nigel Ross as well. His car's actually a Lovelady race car. He changed it a couple of years ago, so I made a mistake there earlier on in the day. But 791 Rob Flood's the one that leads the charge at the moment. Willie Woodhouse has got no answer for him at the moment. Back a big gap back to a next place car, which is the 5 of Danny Knight. But 17 Raymond Phillips is starting to get up his bits and pieces now, and he'll try and duck down the inside as he goes past us in the control tower. And he does. He pushes his way through, eye higher. Always give a bit of contact there as well. So 5 Danny Knight didn't give him too much room there as he makes his way down the back straight. He's got that third spot wrapped up now, and a bit of lap traffic is starting to come into play as well, and that will be in the form of the car of 57 Aaron Andrews. That's next on his target.
And the experience of Williams is showing through there. Look, he's moved up a couple of placings in the Valvoline Mustang, so he could be one to watch later in the race. As you said, Jason, he could have the setup for later in the race. But at the moment, it's still all Rob Flood in the Lovelady chassis ahead of... we've got Phillips driving very wide indeed. That's George Phillips. But once again, it's Rob Flood up front from Willie Woodhouse back there in third, Raymond Phillips. Then back to Danny Knight. He's being pursued by Hinton, Mark Hinton, and Williams there. Sits there. He's under attack from Roberts and the three Auckland cars together, Lansdowne and Nigel Ross.
Okay, top 3 cars here. 791 Rob Flood leads. It's a Lovelady car, and behind him the Verdona chassis of 71 Willie Woodhouse, and then we've got a Hypermac back in that third spot. 17 Raymond Phillips. He's obviously coming on though, Lawrence. He's got a lot of momentum and ground that's been made up as well as he makes his way up into turn 3 and 4. Danny Knight's got no answer. He's holding up a bit of traffic there in the form of 45 Mark Hinton. Steve Williams got no really to go either, and 89 Tom Roberts, 46 Nigel Ross, 74 Scott Lansdowne, and the 47 car of George Phillips is there as well. But it's all happening up the front, Lawrence. It's the 791 car of Rob Flood. It's got the checkered flag. He'll take the win from the 71. Didn't we see the white flag? Then we'll see the 71 car of Willie Woodhouse. Then 17 Raymond Phillips, 5 of Danny Knight. And behind him we'll see 45 Mark Hinton, 21 Steve Williams, 89 Tom Roberts. Then we'll have the 46 car of Nigel Ross, 74 of Scott Lansdowne, 47 George Phillips, 53 Jeff Richardson, 18 of course, Chris Taylor, and then we go back 15 of Phil Burgess, 28 Barry Taylor, and I think that pretty much rounds them up with the exception of the 57 car of Aaron Andrews.
Well, that's a great win to Rob Flood from Eastern State Speedway. Former New Zealand champion back in 2013. Looks like he's taking the honours away here this afternoon. In second place, Willie Woodhouse. Now, that should be enough points for Willie to take out the Holden Trade Club Speedweek Saloon Series here in the South Island. Of course, it will be back up in the North Island next season. And put your hands together. Give it up for car 791E from Eastern State Speedway in Blenheim, Rob Flood.
So maybe a little bit unofficial here, but they say that looks like it will be the 71 car Willie Woodhouse that may have done the damage there for the entire speed week, but we'll get that confirmed for you as soon as we possibly can. Well, I'm getting out of here, man, it's hot.
Okay, so we're here with the third place getter for the final round here at Ellesmere Speedway, night number 4, Raymond Phillips. You were off the front, you dropped back quite a wee way, but have come back and claimed the final podium spot. You must be pretty wrapped with that after a pretty hard out kind of a week.
Yeah, it's been a terrible week, but we're slowly getting there, and yeah. It
is a new car for you though, Raymond, and you've still got a lot to learn, don't you? I mean, you've had a lot of different tracks, and you definitely performed on the slick track. Over all the tracks you've had, all the places we've been to, where have you preferred the most?
Cromwell.
You definitely preferred Cromwell?
Yep.
What did you think of Ellesmere for the final race meeting here of this 2019 Saloon Speedweek?
I actually really enjoyed it. It's a lot better now than what it used to do, but yeah, no, it's amazing here.
Well, being one of the rookies, mate, I'm pretty sure you've got where you want to be in the top 5. You must be pretty happy.
Yeah, I'm stoked. My team has just done an amazing job, and they've got me to where I am.
Anyone else you want to thank, Raymond?
Mum, Dad, Cody, Jesse, Keith, Byron, Lloyd, George, Cleanways, iHire, Waste Tech and all that, and BK, Holden Trade Club and Valvoline for putting on an amazing series.
Okay, we do have our second place getter, the 71C car of Willie Woodhouse, mate. You've raced a few times here before. Did the track go the way you expected?
Yeah, no, day meetings are hard. They always go off and a bit of slick, but most tracks around the country now are slick, so it's good to come out here. It's sort of a home track where we can come out and try stuff on the slick. So, no, I thought I'd do that. So it was good experience, learned a bit more of the car and stuff, which is good.
So it is a new car for you, and it looked like you had the setup out there but just didn't have an answer for Floody there. You were right with him the whole way. Was there anything you were trying in specific to try and get around him?
No, it just was follow the leader on that track. He could have made a mistake and I could have been right there, but no, he drove a really good race, which is good. We all come home in one piece, which is good.
All right, congratulations on second place, Willie. You must have some sponsors you want to thank, mate.
Yeah, we've got Canterbury Roundwood, and really the missus, she's she puts all the money into our cars. We've got 3 cars, and Billy and Scotty, and yeah, she's awesome. And my team for the week, or the 4 days, they've been bloody awesome. They've been racing today in B grades themselves because they love Speedway, and no, it's bloody good of them. They've done well. I'm proud of them, so it's good.
It's definitely a family affair when it comes to the Woodhouses, isn't it, Willie? And you can't take it away from Steve and Wes and the organisers of this event and the sponsors as well, eh?
Oh no, Steve and Wes, they're always bloody shaking our hands and saying g'day and having each other on. It's been awesome. So, thanks to Holden Trade and, there's heaps of sponsors and can't think of them at the moment, but...
Valvoline, BK, CRC... Kimwash, there's a few others, but congratulations on taking that second podium step here for the final round of the 2019 Saloon Speed Week, Willie. We'll let you go and park up now and have a beer. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. And the slick track specialist, we may as well call him now. You're in the LRC race car, mate. You got the top step on the podium. You've got to be pretty chuffed with that drive.
Mate, I'm over the moon. I've chased features in the Speedweek for a long time. I've had seconds and thirds and never a number one, and I'm over the moon to finally get there.
Oh, so this is your first Speedweek feature win, Rob?
Yeah, mate, it is.
We've done a lot of racing over the years too, haven't we? So to finally come away with one with the calibre of drivers in 2019, what was going through your head out there? Could you hear Willie right beside you?
No, I couldn't. I knew from the start I had to get the jump on Raymond, and I did so, but it was a lot of marbly stuff up top, and I couldn't get any grip, and he jumped under me, but then I found some grip down low, and I just stayed there for the race.
Well, you finally got that top step, Rob. You must be pretty chuffed with yourself, your team. You've got to have a lot of people to thank.
Yeah, I got a lot. Yeah, we got the Speedweek sponsors for a start. You've got BK, Holden Trade Club, and Valvoline. Thank them very, very much. My own sponsors, Radiator Services, Love Lady Race Cars, Repco, Mobber Panel and Paint, Penrod Oils, and of course my crew, Raddy and Jamie and John Lovelady.
Well, you've definitely earned a Coca-Cola after the last 4 days, Rob. So go and park it up, mate. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Congratulations on that first top step podium in any speed week that you've raced in, and there's been a few, and also the final round here at Ellesmere Speedway. Okay, guys. That concludes our footage here of the 2019 Saloon Speed Week in the South Island. It's been an epic journey, a lot of late nights and a lot of great drivers out there. The class of 2019 has just been a class to remember the whole year. A bit of damage tonight, but all of those guys got it fixed up and are now parked up on the trailer. Thanks very much to all our viewers at Speed Shift TV over in America for watching us, and also here in New Zealand. We've had a massive following, so thanks each and every one of them. Also the crew here at the Pits TV and every volunteer that has made this happen over the week, from Cromwell, Riverside, Ellesmere, Beachlands as well. We can't thank you guys enough.